What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mystics MMOs. I'm your host, Mystic Raven. Now, there's something I want to go over real quick here. This player, I'm not trying to call anybody out or cause anybody any toxicity, but I've been asking, Brian, have I been asking all of these people trolling me? Because I've been gone for a while. I might have overlooked something. Am I right? Maybe?
Sure.
Maybe. Possibility. Anything's possible, right?
Sure.
And it's good to, in my opinion, I think that's good to have, an open mind. To say,
Agreed.
I may not be right, but I did the math, and I'm not seeing any other artifact do this. So I asked, did I not? Is there any other artifact that gives that much offensive stat? Did I ask that?
You did.
Okay. So they kept dodging the bullet. The link is in the description below to this forum post. He says right here, no artifact will give you the raw stats that Amulet gives. Now, listen to this. That doesn't make it best in slot. And he's like, but it's only ever used as a tag swapped artifact because passes effects. But he failed to realize what I showed in my video. Because if you use UG and somebody procs that, we can get up to 40,000. 40,000, right? You don't want to use it as a tax swap. Why? Because the stacks won't stack up to 10. You're only going to get that many until you swap. You know what I'm saying? What tax swap artifacts is, Brian? They'll take the top piece, swap it out to build up the stat pools. And I'm like, but you don't want to do that because you want those stacks to keep resolving. Now, you do take damage. And we proved yesterday, did we not? By the way, thank you, for that, Brian, helping me with that yesterday. I appreciate it.
Not a problem.
And we proved that the HOTS can keep you healed. But once you get past those bigger stacks on the tier 4, that's where you might need a little bit more direct, right? We discussed that.
Yeah. Correct.
Now, and I did a pug. I did a pug with me doing it. Now, mind you, my artifact's only tier 1 on that tune, but, it is what it is. Now, here was my reply. Now, my reply was, now let's examine that, shall we? Best in slot, is any slotted item that cannot be matched. The fact that no other artifact can give that much in a stat that amplifies all abilities beyond any other, by definition, is best in slot. Right or wrong?
Right.
So if he answered the question, which they were all dodging, why, oh why? Now, it does have risks. The artifact has risk, does it not?
It does.
And am I saying, it's ideal for every situation? Did I say that?
No.
I specifically said there's no other artifact that gives you this much stats and an offensive ability. Was that not my comment?
It was.
And if by the numbers, because I did the math. I did the math on every artifact. I'm like, there's no other artifact that comes close. There's none. And you add UG to it, right? And whatever. I'm building up all of these on every one of two. Because it's 30%. Yeah, it has a huge penalty associated. But it's called risk versus reward, is it not?
It is true.
Okay. Now, do you think I would rock like that in, a solo content or a duo?
No.
Right. Because I get killed. But if I'm in a raid, pug, normal, elite, whatever, I have to debate whether or not to maximize my DPS. Yes or no?
Yes.
If I'm going to maximize my DPS, maxing, what artifact maximizes my ability output? The amulet. Yes or no?
Right. Yes.
So, was I wrong?
No. No. You were not. No.
So, I don't know, man. I'm sitting here scratching my head like these.
Even said that as long as you have a healer, you need a healer.
Yeah.
And to go along with it. That's why you can't use it in a duo.
Right. And I said this is a best of slot in this format. If you're going to be in a group format with a healer, it's best in slot. Did I mislead anybody?
No.
Did I lie?
No. No.
By definition, did I misuse the word best in slot?
No.
I don't think so either.
No, you even said you don't have to use this, but if you do,
Right.
this will do this.
It's risk versus reward. It's risk versus reward. And I just, and I don't want people to agree with me. Like I told them, I said, I appreciate a constructive conversation, but that's not what I got when I went in there. They're like, it's not best in slot. Why isn't it best in slot? That was my first question. Why? Because I did the math and I'm not seeing any artifact that can replicate what this artifact is capable of doing. Period. Hands down. Now, if that's the case, right, and my math stands correct, then how am I misusing the word best in slot?
I don't know how. No, you're not.
I'm begging for you to find a flaw in my logic. But is there a flaw in my logic?
No, you did the math.
And that's the
You
thing.
ran the test yesterday.
Right.
So,
And you know me. I do not, in any game I've ever played, have I used the word best in slot frequently.
no.
Right. Because I think there's objective meanings behind it. And I do. I typically do. I am typically not a person that will throw out a best in slot tag. Because why? It's like bosses, for example, when they were using on a mag tunes. I'm like, yes, once you're at this point, you'll get this much damage increase. But you have to be at this point to do it. And if you can't maintain it, what ends up happening to your DPS anyways because you're low on Magicka? What happens? It goes to shit. Right or wrong.
Correct.
And I'm like, so therein lies the problem. I can't call it a best in slot like daggers. Daggers to me wasn't a best in slot because it was like, that's a stat that I can get somewhere else, over here or there. And if I'm Magicka, how many boss fights? Like, I never understood that. They didn't want to use Stam because of mechanics, because they said they're in the way of mechanics. Was that not ESO meta's logic? And,
If I remember correctly, yes.
and now they're putting daggers on Magicka tunes? How are you going to weave with daggers?
I don't know. I have to go and see.
But you get what I'm saying? It's like they're basically contradicting themselves in ESO. So that's why I was always like, I'm not saying their builds are bad. I never said their builds were trash, bad, or anything. I said, I just don't agree with this circumstance. Or how many times did I beat their stats? I come back, they were sitting on 6K max Magicka. And I pull 7,000. Then they adapt. Is that a fluke? I don't know. You see what I'm saying? But I did say the kilt could, by definition, could be a best in slot. Didn't I say that?
Yes.
On the kilt? I said, by definition, you can't replicate these stats. And if you can't replicate stats, by definition, what is that? Best in slot. A one-piece item that those stats cannot be replicated. And I did say that. I did specifically say that if a stat cannot be replicated on a character sheet by any means, that is a best in slot. And there are times on many occasions where configurations or setups could be replicated in other games. And that was my point. But if I have always said, if you can't replicate something, it's best in slot. And I'm not trying to be toxic. I'm not telling people this is what you absolutely have to do. But I just read that to you. And if they said that that artifact's stats cannot be replicated, what's that tell you?
Best in slot. It can't be replicated, so it's technically best in slot.
If it cannot be replicated, what is it? If it's beating every other artifact stat-wise that pushes up all your damage, that's best in slot. Like it or lump it. I tell people, you might not like what I have to say, but I do the math. It's like, whatever. So, there it is. There it is. So, I mean... And you know what, Brian? I feel bad because I feel like we can queue up something to make a quick run. I feel bad because I feel like I didn't want it to get to me to be toxic. Like sometimes I'm very how should I say? Did we just do Olympus or God of Monsters? No, we did God of Monsters. So we'll do Olympus. We'll do Justice. Zoo, Earth. But like, I feel bad because I'm not trying. I'm not trying to get into arguments with people. But like, when people try to be condescending to me or try to be whatever, I'm like, I'm not I'm like, now I'm going to make you look dumb. Now they take it. They're like, oh, it's your ego, and I'm like, so wait a minute. Me questioning, making an observation. I make an observation. You contradict yourself, and I'm the one with the ego?
Seems pretty unfair. Pretty unfair statement. Unjustified, untrue.
I'm like, what does ego got to do with math?
Nothing. Math is math. It is what it is.
Right. Like, what does ego have to do with numbers? Like, I gave him the opportunity to tell me if there was something better, stat-wise. I said, is there something better stat-wise? And people, and I know I come across like that. Like I'm arrogant or something. I have a superiority complex. I admit this, Brian. You know? But I don't see myself being narcissistic. I care about people. We've had personal conversations. You see me as a narcissistic individual.
We've had the conversations.
Yeah.
It's all good.
But I think I care about people. Like, I care, it's not about just me. And narcissistic people have a tendency not to really care about anything but themselves. You know? So that's why I'm like, I don't see it, but I can have an attitude. I have an attitude, unfortunately. You know, that don't stop. That's why I didn't want to become a content creator either. I don't like drama, and I'm a center for drama, and I don't necessarily want, because anytime you question anybody, they take it defensive. I don't take it defensive. I'm just going to hound you more. Like if you're going to be like stupid, if you want to be stupid, I'll treat you stupid. You know, just don't be stupid. That's my point. You know, like it doesn't have to get like that. It shouldn't be like that. But you know, unfortunately, it did. Dude, I can't wait to get my Batman in this shit level. I need to level my artifacts on this tune, because it's really low. But I want to get that Batman for this tune too. It's so hard, dude.
Yes. It was just a lot to do.
Yeah.
And for you, it's even.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've taken on the assignment of having many tunes.
Yeah. And I think since I've been back, I'm accomplishing things steadily. You know.
I am more than impressed with what you've gotten done with as many tunes as you have.
Right. And there's parts of it like it feels like it drags on some things. I'm not gonna lie, but the part that keeps me impacted is trying to figure out things for people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh, I'm supposed to be the tank.
Oh, you're switching? Yeah, because we don't have the tank.
Yeah. Hold on.
It's fine. I think we'll wait till after this. Yeah, I'll back.
I'm trying to kill this thing. Switch, damn it. Cutscene. Thank God you're healing me right now. Because I'm just floating around trying to make sure I'm, trying to hit some stuff.
Your ass, I am now. From the ads as fast as I could.
I'm trying to switch.
You're fine. I'm fine.
I keep trying to hit the button and switch it. No, I feel like an idiot. Because I got caught up in a conversation. I wasn't paying attention. It happens, but I'll kick myself in the head. Yeah, it wasn't pretty, but alright, no, let me try. There we go. We're good.
Yeah, now we're ultra good.
Yeah, now we're ultra good. That sounds good to me. Let me move that ass. Oh, people are in the hall. I keep running up because no.
I got a bag and a
Super speed sometimes gets on my nerves. You know that Batman the Laugh has a really nice that card also does a really nice boost to your health. So I think like tanks could even benefit from, you know, from it. But I think there's better, you know, tanking allies passively. You know what I'm saying?
I haven't. I have to look. The Princess Diana, is she like tank?
She's yeah. I've got her on my main tank. I'm just leveling her, and that, you know, like I've said, I'm kind of a little overwhelmed at the moment. You know, because I got so much to do. You know, and you know, I'm trying to be promotive. Like, there's a lot of content creators out there I enjoy, you know, for this game as well. And you know me, I you know, whatever. Like, I think Obsidian is great. He's a great, just a great content creator. I like Dak. I like Multiverse. I really like all the main content creators for this game. You know, I really do. So I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes by any means either. You know. So, you know, but at the same time, if other content creators feel threatened, well, that's not my fault. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to pull him back in the corner here. The thing about it is you got to keep these guys moving because of that gas. The one I can't control, the Joker one. No, actually, I can't really control any of them. Okay, the lion's out. That needs to be pulled. Nice heals, by the way, brother.
Thank you.
Okay. I don't know how much zoo shit there is. I'm trying to get gates. Like zoo gates. I really like the fact that this game is so like normals are pug friendly. I mean, it's not always ideal. You know what I'm saying, on certain runs. I will say that, like today, for example, what we had to go through the 6th dimension, horrible. I mean, but you can't always anticipate every pug run to go smooth. You know what I'm saying? But most of the time, I do enjoy coming into these and just, I'm going to go ahead and do some raids, or I want to go ahead and do some alerts, or you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
And there's not a lot of games that do that. There's not a lot of games that, have, a normal version where it's very user friendly. And, I mean, it's still mechanic heavy. But then you get to Elite and there's a challenge still for, your vet players. And I really applaud the devs for that. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
Oh shit. I'm trying to keep all these off you guys. It's still Tonner.
I'll reposition.
The biggest thing is just staying out of the gas. Gotta get out of that. You gotta keep them away from the computer terminals. Gas needs to be moved. And I like the fact that they have a block break in here. Because I didn't mind tanking in ESO, but it kind of just got kind of boring. Just be like, hold, swap weapons, hold. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm like, seriously? Gas, gotta move. Dude. That one's over there.
I'm mind controlled. And I'm the only healer in this group. I have mind control. Stay alive.
Oh, everybody's in your hots for the most part. I know I am.
Okay.
Dude, the saboteurs are getting the shit, but oh well. Okay. That was good. That was a nice smooth run. Flatbed cart. Oh, that's badass. That's going in the league hall. But Brian, I want to thank you, brother, for supporting me throughout the years. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Oh, I'm here.
Thank you for supporting me throughout the years. Thank you for having a little faith in me, man. And
oh, no problem, dude.
I've
been watching you for, I've been subscribed, and it's pretty. The way you do things is pretty logical. You go by the numbers.
Thanks, man.
And you, I've never heard one once you say, this is what the numbers say, this is what you have to do. I don't care what, you
right.
always said, play how you want, but if you want to min-max your builds, the numbers say do this.
Right. Like,
and eventually, everybody does it that wants to min-max.
Right. And, and like, I mean, I've always, no matter, I've always bumped into resistance in anything I've ever done.
Yeah.
Like, when I remember, like, I didn't, like, it broke my heart to have to tell people, like, Twice Born Star is not best in slot. You guys, it was frustrating for me. And then going into, like, something with a DK or a Nightblade Healer, and people are just like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean, what am I doing? Do you got time for one more?
Oh, yeah, I got time, yeah.
But,
it's like, I have a DK Healer, so I watched your DK Healer builds. I watched all of them.
Right.
I didn't copy your build exactly how you have it.
Right.
I mean, I made it more for myself. I mean, the monster set, I did say, you know what, I'm going to use that monster set, and everything else, I mean, I just kind of, I did myself to how I wanted to play.
Right.
So,
it gave you a template.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good way of looking at things, because I like the idea of encouraging people to think outside the box. And in this game, it is more linear. It's not like ESO where we could play with sets and we could do things and have a lot of fun. I think that's what made Elder Scrolls fun. Like, playing with different builds and configurations.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like besides performance, which has been Zos's Achilles heel in that game, I feel oh, dude, you logged out?
No. It said that maintenance, which is not true. Well, normally their maintenance is first thing in the mornings.
Yeah.
So
it said you logged out.
I'm logging back.
Oh,
yeah, it kicked me. I got kicked.
Oh, that's so weird. But I think at the end of the day, my biggest thing about this is, like, Elder Scrolls suffers from performance issues. And I'm like, let me actually check the comments. I haven't checked the comments. Oh, wait a minute. Adolf, what? Just have one main. This game is too much bullshit. I can't do it. Zaphon, true. Oh, thanks, man. Yes, that's good advice, Adolf. It's best to max the stats on one tune. It is, and you guys are right there. And I do have a main. But you guys have lives. And I would recommend to anybody who has a life, invest in one tune. Like a main. I'm old. I don't have much of a life. This is pretty much my job. So when people come to me and ask me, what would you recommend for a healer in DCUO? I'm like, well, that depends. What type of playstyle would you like? And which ones are you looking at? And I should have the answers to know, to be able to answer for them. I'm not going to get every tune maxed. I'm not anticipating to do that. I'm anticipating to have answers when somebody asks me. That's what I'm looking for. And the only way you get that is by playing it firsthand. And getting that experience firsthand. And I think that's the way to go in anything in life. Don't take somebody else's word for it unless they've done it for themselves. But if they've done it and they can guide you and help you decide what you might want to try or what you might want to delve in, at least they can kind of give you an advance to say, like Celestial. I'm still learning Celestial. I don't have a lot of time put in Celestial. Brian here has way more time in his Celestial than I do.
Is very combo heavy.
Right.
DPS wise, I am still learning it. Healing wise, I got it. I think I got it down. But DPS wise, I still got much to learn.
Yeah, and that's the thing though. But when you go from a healer to a DPS, there is a gap there, and I think that's important. I think that's something I really want to be where I can help one or two people, and if I can do that through experience, that's what I go for. So, and I think like there's a misconception among a lot of players in this game that are being led. If you want to be a top DPS, you got to go this power set. Well, eventually things do get adjusted in this game. The devs are really good at that. But I'll be honest with you, I play a ton of DPS just to get a feel for the rotation. And there are pros and cons to every power set, but what I would tell anybody who's going in, if you don't feel comfortable playing that power set and you don't understand the clipping, you're going to struggle anyways. So my recommendation is find something you're comfortable with and then use the other content creators' recommendations for a solid rotation. Now, do you think that's a bad advice, Brian?
No.
Like, I would tell anybody, hands down, if you want to know how to clip to the rotation, you go see Obsidian. Chill.
I would.
If you want to,
nice, long, how to do videos, build videos.
And he does the same thing. He does it on PTS. He does the same thing though. He tries every power set, rotation, what kind of feels good, what looks good, and what's producing. So I would make that recommendation. Same thing with like if you want to know about like news and like really good insight in the game, Dak man is by far one of the best content creators for like the content that is upcoming and what the prior episodes led up to. Like he has all that information. Now if you want to know more about the aesthetics of the game and the hidden gems, Multiverse. You see what I'm saying? Everybody's got something to contribute, and I think that's a positive.
It keeps telling me that cannot connect to servers network.
That sucks.
Features for this game or app can't be used until. I'm trying to look up, see if there's a problem.
But I'm sorry.
PS5.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't see your comments after the raid, but I do appreciate both of you guys' insight. And you guys are right. I would tell anybody else, I would make the same recommendation. Dude, that sucks that you can't get on. Have you tried? Well,
yeah, this does.
But I'm gonna let you guys go. He's having technical difficulties, and Brian, thank you for your insight. And I hope that this community, understands my intentions, and I can be an ass, but at the same time, I'm going, I mean well. So, but as always, guys, I'm Mr. Craven. This is Mystic's MMOs. Peace.